You've arrived at Unlearn with Louisa, the self-development podcast where we explore the beliefs, patterns, and behaviours we've all unconsciously picked up along the way. Whether it's in relationships or how we treat ourselves, here we focus on unlearning our past to create the future that we actually want. Let's get into it. Welcome back. It is good to be back in your ears. I just want to give you a virtual hug right now. If you've clicked on this episode and you've just been broken up with and you're in fight or flight and everything hurts and you've got that gut-wrenching feeling in your stomach and you go to sleep and you forget about your reality and you get that little window in the morning where you forget that everything's happened and then you remember and you get that sinking feeling in your gut and in your chest and you just want to cry but you can't be present and it's so painful. I am here with you. I am here with you. I see you. I hear you. It is, look, being broken up with, it's really tough. It is really, really tough. And the thing is, the only thing that will get you through a breakup is time, but you can't just get more time. Like you can't do something to get more time, you know? We have to sit through and patiently go through time in the pain and in the 5 stages of grief. And people used to say that to me. I remember my first really bad dumping was when I was just turned 18 years old. It was my first love. And, you know, for whatever reason, instead of dumping me, they just ghosted me for a while. And I felt them withdraw. And eventually they messaged me saying that, like, you know, it was over. And I was in the middle of year 12 exams. And I remember being at school bawling my eyes out, like crying on the phone, because it was just the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking feeling. And I remember going for a run, you know, like this is the thing about emotional pain is you can hack your nervous system by expelling the energy through physical exertion. I hate cardio. Cardio is not my mode of exercise, although it's starting to be a little bit at the moment. But back then I definitely was not a cardio girly. And I just remember sprinting, you know, from my house just to like get the pain, like give me some relief from this pain that I'm feeling, this rejection, this gut-wrenching feeling that I'm not enough. You know, it was the hardest part that you have to navigate when you've been broken up with. It's not only the loss of the relationship, but the rejection that we make that mean as well. And rejection, the thing is, it's really important to explore your inner childhood wounds when it comes to a breakup, because there's going to be a lot more going on and at play than just the relationship breakdown. And of course, it's a massive grief losing someone that was so close to you. And it is like a death, because I remember talking to my dad when I went through that breakup when I was in year 12. And I said, how did you go through a divorce? Like, how did you do that with children and 12 years of a relationship? Like, I don't get it. Like, how did you do that when mine was like 9 months? And he said that, well, it is like a death, because the relationship that was in its form is no longer that way anymore. And everyone will relate to that feeling of talking to someone that you used to like be smoochy with and cuddly with, and it's so sterile and cold and businesslike, and it's tough, you know? So I just want to say to anyone going through that right now, it gets better. I promise you. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but the biggest gift in life comes on the other side of healing from a breakup. Like, I cannot even explain every relationship breakdown that I have had. On the opposite side of that, my life has leveled up in ways than I never thought it could, you know, and the next relationship has been such a huge growth from that previous one. And if you commit to yourself to look at the patterns of your relationships and look at what got you here, this can be the biggest gift that you will ever have. And I know it doesn't feel like it right now. And I know that your brain is glorifying your partner and going, you know, this person is my soulmate. Like, there's no flaws in this person. And it was always meant to be. And like, often our brains will just completely omit the negative and the things that didn't work because we feel rejected and because we're experiencing a loss. And if you have an anxious attachment, like, that will be exacerbated even more. But if the relationship wasn't right for your partner, it's not right for you, because you deserve to be with somebody that chooses you and is committed to you no matter what. And that is always a tough pill to swallow. Like, if we think someone is our soulmate or our forever person and they don't want to be with us, that is enough of a sign that they are not our person, because your person would not abandon you and would not leave you. And that's what you need to remember, that regardless of what your brain is telling you, whether you think he is like the best thing that's ever happened to you, there is something in the relationship that isn't working. And you want to explore what that is and what you're attracting in a partner and what the patterns are associated with your relationships, so you can grow and have a relationship that is sustainable in the way that you want it. So every single person is going to have different needs and negotiables that they want in a relationship. And so this is an opportunity for you to look at, what was I compromising on? What was I sacrificing so I can have more of what I do want? Because there will be things that didn't work. Your brain will just be ignoring those right now. But first of all, let's get into just some sort of sciencey stuff around what's going on for you in your brain. When you're in love, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. So they're like bonding chemicals. They make you feel good. They make you feel connected. These chemicals are the same chemicals that are tied to addiction. So when you take a stimulant drug, you're getting really big doses of dopamine in your brain. When you've been dumped in a relationship, your oxytocin and dopamine levels crash, just like if you were on a come down from a drug bender, which means that you start to crave those chemical reactions in your brain. So you start to crave dopamine, you start to crave oxytocin, and you see your ex-partner as the method to get it. So you start to crave and withdraw from that person, and you start to crave their connection, you start to crave that person. And that will usually lead to trying to get control over the situation and either reaching out to them or looking at the social media or like rereading the messages, trying to reframe and heal that rejection and get that dopamine or oxytocin hit. So right now, that is what's happening in your brain. Like, you've got no oxytocin, you've got no dopamine. And that's why when it comes to going through a breakup, it's really, really important to hack your natural dopamine and oxytocin levels. So things like ice bathing or saunaing or going and doing like really strenuous cardio, things that give you endorphins, things that hack your brain chemistry, are going to really, really help you during this time. I know it's tempting to go, nah, I can't do that. I just want to stay in bed. And to be honest, I believe, this is probably not the most conventional thing, but I think the first week of a breakup is just about getting through it. Getting through it without causing as much harm as possible. If you have to doom scroll, you have to doom scroll. Unhealthy, healthy distraction. The work of a breakup comes a bit later, when that really intense sting has subsided just slightly and you're more used to your reality. The hardest part about a breakup is those first few weeks where you still have the habit and expectation to hear from them and see them. And you sort of are still coming to reality. You're still becoming used to your new reality. Your nervous system and your body and your mind hasn't fully adjusted to that being your reality. 2 weeks in, you're single. You're not in a relationship anymore. Like, your body remembers. But those first few weeks, especially if you've just been dumped and it's like it's just hit you, those first few weeks, you're in fight or flight. It's easy to forget about your new reality, and then the new reality hits and it's just this internalized pain. That's why I think it's really important, with everything I'm teaching you guys, hacking your natural system is going to help you immensely, because even at the end of the run, you're still going to probably have pain, but you're helping your brain come back online. You're helping your brain rewire from that withdrawal. So also just a good little fact to know that MRI scans actually show heartbreak activates the same brain regions as physical pain. So that's why your gut is churning. That's why the feeling in your chest is like a stabbing sensation. Heartbreak is exactly the same as if you've, broken your arm or hurt your leg. That pain needs to be nurtured just as you wouldn't walk on a leg that's just been broken. You need to heal and mend and nurture yourself and have compassion to yourself. Like you're not going to expect, if you've broken your arm, you're not going to expect yourself to be bloody playing basketball and like riding with that hand the next day. You need like 12 weeks or whatever to heal that. And it's going to be the same thing for your heart. Go slow, have patience with yourself, change your expectations on what healing and the process of healing should look like. A lot of research shows that around the 11-week mark, your brain has started to rewire and the pain of the breakup usually has diminished quite substantially. So in that 11 weeks, you want to create a system where you're seeing yourself through love and kindness and compassion, and you're looking after yourself rather than what you could be doing, which is looking to your ex to change how you feel. So every time you reach out to your ex, every time you look at their social media, every time you try and get a story from one of their friends about what they're doing and you get information or whatever, and you get this illusion of control about what's going on, you're harming that wound. You're using that hand, hindering that growth because you're re-triggering and you're re-injuring that wound and that pain. It is so important, and I know it's on probably every podcast that there is about breakups, but the no contact rule is so important. Or if you live with your partner and that's not really possible, or you have children or whatever, or a business, me and my ex, we had a company and we lived together. It was like a whole thing. We just limited our contact very much to the logistics of the breakup, and then that was it. And when we had the initial breakup, I moved into my parents' place for a few weeks and we just liaised like that and kept it very business orientated. After the relationship was done, after the initial, emotional conversations were done, we left it at that. We didn't keep stringing that along. And I think that really serves a purpose. But with saying that, every conversation we had about logistics still brought up old feelings, still was triggering, still was painful. My healing only really started once that was all done and dusted. Like I would go from feeling quite okay and assured and in pain, but processing and feeling reasonably like I'm moving forward, and then coming to our house when he was still here and feeling that like trigger of pain and being really in it. Limit your contact with them. Like that, I know it's the opposite of what you want to do, and you want more communication and you want more closure, and maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had. But once you have your answer that somebody doesn't want to be with you and why that is and where the relationship went, that is enough. That is enough to walk away and to know that, okay, there's a new chapter of my life is about to come where I'm going to up level, and this relationship is no longer a part of that. And I know it's so hard and you want something, but you know what, also, like I watched my best friend go through a breakup once. It was pretty brutal. She got broken up with over text. Good times. And the best way, if you're like, no, like I need to speak to them, I need to upload thirst traps and get their attention, and I need them back. If your partner, if you think there's still hope in your relationship, right, the only way they're going to figure that out is if they lose you. And the best way for them to lose you is if you go no contact. So the no contact works for you because you're healing, but it also works in the reframe of that if I'm meant to be with this person, they need to know what life is like without me, okay? They need to feel the void. If I'm constantly going back to them and they know, okay, I can just access them whenever I want to, or they're constantly messaging me, let your partner feel the loss of you, or ex-partner. My nose is insane. Let your partner feel the loss of you, okay? And this is the decision they've made, and they need to feel that decision. If they're going to regret that, they need to know what life is like without you, and may that be your motivation to do no contact, okay? All right. Now, when it comes to being broken up with, I did sort of touch on this a bit earlier. Not only are you experiencing the grief of losing the relationship and your new reality, but you're also experiencing rejection, which is going to trigger old wounds from childhood. So if you have, which most people have, if you have ever had a rejection as a child or an abandonment wound, and what I mean by that is that, maybe as a child you felt like you weren't good enough, or you felt like you were bullied, or you felt that, your parents had really high expectation on you and you couldn't meet them, or maybe in the past you've been through friendship breakdowns that you still miss. Whatever rejection is in the past, it will be activated right now. And it's really important to nurture yourself through that, because often what can happen is we can put the responsibility of all of those past rejection wounds onto our current ex-partner to heal those. And so we think that we have to get back together with that partner to heal all the historical things that are causing this rejection. And it's important to separate it, that, okay, this person doesn't want to be with me anymore, but that is not about my worth or all of the other times that I felt rejected. This is not more evidence that I'm not worthy of love or that I'm not worthy as a person. This is just this circumstance for XYZ reason. He is not my person. They are not my person. And that's okay. But this does not mean something existential about my worth and value as a person. There are 7 billion people on this planet, okay? We probably find maybe 1 million or more, 500 million, I don't know, like, of them attractive. I think the biggest myth, and maybe one day I'll change my mind on this, I don't know. I don't believe in the one. There are 7 billion people on this planet. I think we hold on to the idea of the one because it helps us feel secure and safe in the relationship, and it gives us a reason. I do believe two souls meet for a certain period of time and they do what they need to do together, and sometimes that ends and sometimes that's forever. But, relationships are our biggest vehicle to learning and healing. Think about what you have gained and what you have grown from in this relationship, and what would your non-negotiables be in your next relationship. And maybe it's a bit early, but writing out your ideal partner and seeing, does my ex-partner really match this, can help you, I said this in a TikTok video once, it's probably not the most conventional thing, but writing down not the negatives of your partner, but like the things in the relationship that didn't work for you that you would have liked to improve, or the things in your ex-partner that, if you were to leave the relationship, what would it be about, or the things that made you feel sad or shame or anger. Just writing down a list of that stuff in your phone and grounding yourself to that reality, because what happens is we forget all that stuff and we're not actually grounded in reality. It's not about looking at them through a negative lens. It's about balancing the perspective and understanding the reality of the situation you were in. But anyway, back to this. I don't believe in the one. There are so many people in the world, and I think we can have relationships and make relationships work with a bunch of people. Often we attract partners in order to heal ourselves and heal what we haven't healed from our childhoods. So may that be a reassurance that if your relationship didn't work out, that there is somebody else coming for you. There is an abundance of love out there. There is an abundance of forms of relationships. And as you grow up and as you grow as a person, different relationships will serve different purposes and will be meant for you at different times across your life. It is an opportunity. There is an opportunity coming that is going to fit you in a different way at a better time in your life. And the best thing to do is give yourself a break. You don't need to have it figured out right now. There will always be another relationship coming if that's what you want. There's always other options. And that is a reassuring voice. I think when we get into this like mindset, oh, there's only one person for me in the world, it's very limiting. Obviously, there is the other side of that where commitment is really important when you are in a relationship, to do everything you can to make it work. And that's what a relationship is built on, that commitment and that trust and that connection. But when that's gone, when that's changed, it's reassuring to know that a relationship is built on the foundation of mutual values about the commitment to stay in that relationship, and you can create that with someone else. And there'll be flaws in that relationship that don't work, and there'll be benefits in that relationship that are better than the previous. There's an abundance of options and opportunities for you. So back to the rejection, make sure that you start to look at what this is triggering within you as well from the past. So separating and holding space for your inner child and doing some journaling around what wounds this is triggering and what stories you're telling yourself about this breakup is going to help you separate from the emotional impact of those wounds and the actual relationship. It'll help you process, because nurturing your rejection wounds from your past and having them impact and cloud your perspective on what's happening now, it can cause you harm and it can change how you behave in the future. All right. Now this is the coaching segment. So first stage of the breakup, this is what's actually going to help you. When you have a feeling, when the feeling comes, allow it, don't avoid it. Lean in to your feelings. I know it's scary. I know you want to change it. I know you want to avoid and distract. But when it's intense, when it comes up, put some music on, set a timer for 90 seconds, lean in and feel that feeling. I think the scariest thing about our feelings is we have this mindset like, oh my God, they're going to kill us. I can't do this. I can't sit with it. And sometimes we can't, and we need to distract, like I said earlier. But give yourself a little timer, go intensely into that feeling, and then distract straight afterwards. Give yourself time to process. Our feelings have an end point, and we forget that. You know, we often just suppress. I don't want to feel this. I want to change how I feel. I need to feel good. But when we actually lean in and feel our feelings, we process them, and they have an end point. And the sooner you feel your feelings, even if it's overwhelming, the sooner they will pass. So like I said before, break the contact loop. Every time you look at their socials, speak to them, you're getting a dopamine and oxytocin hit, and then you're getting the crash straight after. So you're prolonging that healing. You want to anchor your body. So you want to attack this from an emotional, physical, and spiritual perspective. So spiritually, you want to be connected to the people you're around. You want to be connected to your girls. You want to, incorporate the universe if you believe in the universe. You want to try and see yourself through love. Emotionally, you want to lean into your feelings, feel your feelings, be authentic with where you're at. Physical, look after your exercise, eat well, get natural dopamine from your food. I mean, obviously, the first week, go hard. If you want to binge eat or if you can't eat, it's okay. Like, just let your body do what it needs to do. But when you do start to be intentional about the work, it's good to eat well and eat high nutritious foods so that your dopamine receptors and your serotonin is starting to get that helping hand of a natural boost. Exercise, strenuous exercise is obviously going to be your best friend through this. You know, I really struggle personally to push myself with exercise on my own. So booking an exercise class, get class pass, go hard, go to Pilates, start something where you have to go somewhere and you're forced to progress and develop. Maybe you get a PT if you've got the finances. But honestly, class exercise during a breakup, chef's kiss. So good. I know sleep is really hard when you're in that first week, but sleep is good. Hang on. Okay, good. Just checking. Again, the microphone. Using grounding tools, do a breathwork session. If you're in Melbourne or Queensland, there's some really good breathwork places. I don't know about the rest of the world, but there's always like the Wim Hof YouTube video. That's a good one. Breathwork is really good because I feel like when you're in that initial pain, meditation just can really help you ruminate and make you feel the feelings really intensely, and you might not be ready for that. So something like breathwork can help move the emotion and help you change your state and your energy. Some journaling prompts to help you. Process each night what is hardest to accept right now. What do I wish I could say, but I can't? Writing your ex a letter of everything you wish you could say and then burn it. And what do I need to remind myself of daily? So journaling is such a good way to get everything out of your mind, get everything on a piece of paper. I journaled every night in the first few weeks of the breakup, and it just cleared my head, and it allowed me to organize my thoughts. But can I just say, the most important thing when you're going through a breakup And if you don't have this, like you've got this podcast, this is your community. Get your people, get connected, get to your family, get to your friends, hang out with your girls. My girls are the best thing in my life. Like I honestly, without my girlfriends, I don't know where I would be, you know? They held me through every dark day, every moment, every emotion, every experience. They have been there and they've just like loved me through all of it, you know? So get connected, start reconnecting with people that you don't usually chat with. I reached out to a school friend who was going through a breakup, and we went and got pho and just like processed everything. Think about the opportunities and the connections you can have now that you're single. Like just go and be with people. If you're more extroverted, that is going to be your biggest savior. I just filled up my time with people and connection, and then when I was ready to be alone, I was able to transition into that. I think I said this in the last breakup episode that we did, which was ages ago when Tara and I were still recording. But again, music, when you need to lean into your feelings, absolutely. If you need to put a sad song on to help you like really get it out, go hard. But I made a deal with myself. I am listening to positive, upbeat music, and I am romanticizing my life to come. It really put me in good stead every time. Music for me changes my mood like that. Like it just instantly like puts me into a good space. For anyone that's going through a breakup, like putting on upbeat music that makes you happy when you're in a dark place is just, when I drive and I have good music on, like that is a really happy, safe space for me. So I really prompt you to do that and not try, like feel your feelings, but don't wallow in them. Don't, take them too far, in the sense that like we want to feel everything and be real and be present with what we're going through. But we also want to take action to pull ourselves out of a dark place. And music can be a really good way and a good hack to do that. As we come to the end of the episode, I just want to say to you, I am so proud of you for being here and for getting to the end and for listening this whole way through. It just shows that you are doing the bloody work on getting through this. It is going to get better. I have 2 coaching programs. If you would like anything more from me, I've got a 30-day breakup reset program, and I've also got a 3-month or 12-week transformation program, which takes you from the darkness of the breakup to healed. So if you would like more from me, feel free to reach out on Instagram or through my email, coaching@unlearnwithlouisa.com, and we can work together and I can hold you through that if that is something you desire. Every program comes with unlimited Voxer, which is a messaging app or a voice noting app, so you can have me in your pocket as you go through this if you need. And I just want to say, I promise you it gets better. I know it doesn't feel like it will, but you've got this. You're amazing. If someone doesn't want to be with you, their loss. You are going to be someone's dream girl. You are someone's dream person. I just trust that. Trust that the people that love you and the girls and the people in your life, your friends, your family who love you, there is going to be a partner and a man or a woman out there that feels the exact same way as them. You've just got to hold on. This is the breakdown to break through, and it is going to be fucking awesome on the other side. Thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode, and congratulations for choosing to create a future that's actually yours. If you got something out of this episode, please share it with someone who needs to hear it, and keep up to date with me by following wherever you listen to this episode. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you could also leave a review. If you want more from me, you can find me on any platform at Unlearn with Louisa, or head over to my website unlearnwithlouisa.com to work with me as a coach. And I will see you at the next episode.